morning, everybody. This is Sam, the Frugal Hugel gardener. Yesterday, you seen me separate some Seabreeze bamboo and plant them in manure and composted chips. Today, I have chicken manure that I'm going to put on top, and I have shredded Mexican sunflower that's going to be on top of that. And we're going to start out doing that. Then I'm going to go into the back and plant 150 feet of above ground bamboo. What? What are you talking about? You got to plant it in the ground. No. My ground, although I spent a couple years building up that soil with pure compost that I made, all the videos are below, it's still, when it rains, everything's pretty well wet there for a week or two, or maybe longer at times, and I don't want root rot. So I'm going to plant the bamboo right on top of it, and then go ahead and build horse manure around it, and some sand around it, and then compost on top of it. You got to see it to believe it. It works, and you're going to see it work. At least I got my fingers crossed that it's going to work. So with that said, let's go ahead and fertilize these with chicken manure and top it off with shredded Mexican sunflower mulch that I made. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put the chicken manure and the Mexican sunflower over that, just to show you how I do it. And then I'm going to go ahead and do all of them that I planted yesterday. And then we'll go ahead and I'll show you how I'm going to plant my Seabreeze bamboo above the ground. But as you can see, last night, deer came in investigating, and there's more tracks up there. They wanted to know what I planted and if they could eat it or not. Okay, so this is straightforward. I have chicken manure. This is the Mexican sunflower I shredded up. It's already composted. Okay, pretty much it's self-explanatory. I put the chicken manure right over the soil, and then I put the Mexican sunflower on top. Yesterday you seen me plant it in horse manure, so it's got horse manure. All this here is good, rich, composted topsoil that I made, so it's in that, and that has a lot of nutrients. So now it has chicken manure and Mexican sunflower, and all those nutrients are gonna wash into the ground. And that is my organic fertilizer that I'm putting on these plants. And I'm not gonna do another thing to it. I'm just gonna make sure the ground stays moist, which we've been having rain, so there's no problem there. And pretty soon, this whole row going all the way down to the hedge line over, pretty soon it's going to start growing. By the end of this year, it should be about 10 feet tall or so. By next year, it should be 20 foot tall or so, and they'll start getting thick, just like my other ones did. Okay, so with that said, let's get on with above ground bamboo planting. Okay, so I went ahead and finished putting the manure down. I did all of my plants going all the way down to the end. This right here, I fill it up every time I clean out my coop, and then I let it set until I'm ready to put it down. And that was enough to do all of them. Okay, let's go plant above ground. Okay, so first things first. I already planted that one above ground. You can see how high it is. Okay, now I have to do this whole row, and I'm gonna start with this one. Okay, so I made a little pit stop because I gotta go in the house and get some plant green tape to tie them up. But first, I stopped by my loquat tree. This one here is not covered with a net, so the birds are getting in there. And they're getting some good fruit, so I really need to like take time to do this, but my bamboo's more important, so let the birds have fun. But meanwhile, as I'm working around the yard and past this tree up, I've been squeezing and looking for the good ones. I already ate about 5 or so. Then decided to turn on the video. But basically, you just go ahead and give it a little squeeze. If it squeezes a little bit, it's right. I just like biting off that part. It's like a piece of an apple core. And spit out the seeds. It's okay if there's a couple little insects on it. Okay, let's continue with the video. Okay, so first things first, you want to make sure you have a PVC pipe or a branch or a post or even a bamboo. Piece of bamboo will do fine. I got plenty of it because I cut off the tops, but this is what I'm using. So I measured 5 feet because that's the size of it. Take one of these. I use a piece of wood. Get this over here. Okay, you just want to make sure that's in the ground. Then you want to get your bamboo, whether you bought it from the store or you dug it up yourself. You want to put it right here next to it. So you can see it's above ground. And then you just want to use some plant tape. And all this is doing, it's holding it up. So I'm gonna do that for all of them going down, but I'm gonna do one at a time because if the sun comes out, I don't want the sun to bake the roots. Now all these that I cut up, you notice I got them in manure and it's wet. Since I separated these yesterday, I did not want the roots to dry out, so I'm keeping the roots moist. I think that's pretty important. If I would have just left it above ground, the sun, even in the shade, it could have dried them out. I just noticed, if you look, my Cavendishes are turning yellow. They're ready to harvest. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that rack. I got to go ahead and harvest that. But I'm not going to harvest it today because this is my job for today. I got my tractor there with the bucket. Let me go get some manure to put over this. Okay, so here's a bucket of manure. I'm using manure because that's what I have available. This is about 2 years old right now. It's cool to the touch. Real nice manure. You could go to the store and get black cow, topsoil, whatever you want. Just cover these roots up. I'm going to curve the roots that way. This whole track all the way down, I already tilled it under. So it's real loomy soil, and there's a horse manure mixed in over here as well. Okay, so there you have it. The manure is over the roots. So right now, if the sun came out, the roots are not going to burn. They're going to stay moist. But that's it. I'm not done. I'm going to go ahead and get more soil to build it up and make a little reservoir so I could go ahead and water it. But before I do that, I have time to go down this whole row all the way down and plant all of my bamboo like that. So let me go ahead and get started, and I'll get back to you and show you my progress. Okay, so here you go. I went ahead and did another. Laid it on the ground, tied it up. This is sturdy. I'm still going to go ahead and put compost and soil, sandy soil, whatever on top of this to level it all out. That's done afterwards. Let me go ahead and continue. Okay, so like I said, I was keeping them moist. So just to pull them out, you just pull them out like that. Okay, so now that I have all of them surface planted, like this, all the way down, I just went ahead and I dug a hole and got some Florida sandy soil. This is what all my soil would look like if I did not make my own. But since I have that planted in my composted topsoil and in horse manure, plus when I clean out my chicken coop, I'll keep adding chicken manure on it. I could go ahead and top it off with sand to make the mound nice and sturdy for the plant. And then I'll go ahead and I'll rake some up like this. Okay, so there you go. I'll do that to all of them. So here's the one I did the other day. Here's the one I just did today. So you can see it is planted above the ground. Eventually I'll fill in between, but for now that's planted. I'm going to go ahead and put some compost around it and on top, plus some chicken manure. I'm going to do the same with all of these going down the fence line. Okay, so last year I went ahead and planted those hedges. I had to mound them up because back here water sets. So I mounded it up at that height. They're doing good. Even when we had a lot of rain, they're doing beautiful. So all of these are going to be doing just as good. It's going to take a little while for them to root and start growing. But we're in March right now, and the growing season for bamboo, because in March they're dormant. April and May and June is when they're going to go ahead and start growing. And the root ball down below is going to go ahead and start growing and forming and making a good root system. And that's where the compost and the horse manure and the chicken manure comes in. If you don't put black cow or horse manure or chicken manure, then you're going to go ahead and have to use topsoil. And then you're going to have to fertilize it real good to where I'm 100% organic. I'm not going to give them any fertilizer. They got all the fertilizer built in, from the arborist chips that I turned into topsoil, from the horse manure to the chicken manure, and the Mexican sunflower shredded that I'm going to put on top. Just naturally, organically, these are going to grow, which is great for my wallet. Now, I got fertilizers I could put on there, but there's no need. Over the next few months and the next few years, you'll get to see this take place. From now all the way up till next year at this time, these here should probably be about 10, 12 foot tall. The following year, they should be about 25, 30 foot, and they'll be really thick. And you won't even, the first year, you won't even be able to see through the fence if all goes well. Stick around for the bonus footage, because I'm going to go ahead and complete that. And those of you that don't want to stick around for the bonus footage, hey, this is Sam, the Frugal Hugel Gardener. If you like my above ground method of planting bamboo, maybe I said it, maybe I didn't, but I'll say it now. If your ground holds water or just gets real wet when it rains, you could plant above ground. It's the same thing as doing a mound, but the root system's above ground, and the roots will go down into the ground to suck up the water. You have a better chance of your plants growing without getting root rot. So with that said, give me a like, give me a share, come on over to my Facebook page, come on over to my Facebook group, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because you'll get to see what all my plants do over the next year or so, and everything else that I got going around the property. For those, I got hundreds of videos. You just have to check them out, and you can kind of see the variety of stuff I do around here. So with that said, hope to see you soon. Okay, so basically I'm done for today. I just got to water them in. I went ahead and put the Florida soil around them all. Now all I got to do is mound them up like this. Once they're mounded up like that, then I got to fill in around them with truckloads of chips to fill in the high spots, so this will all be level. From the top of this will be level eventually. So it looks like that when you mound it up, and then you have to fill it in. Before you mound it, it looks like this. Now that sandy soil, remember there's the horse manure in there. That sandy soil is just to build up the sides, so when I put water in it, it don't wash out. And then they're going to get mounded up, and then from there to here, all the way over is going to be a nice big arch like this going up and over. So it'll all look uniform. But this is what they look like for now. I put in a good morning's work. The sun's coming out, so it's pretty hot. Time for me to go in and have some breakfast or lunch. I don't know what time it is. Probably a brunch. But anyway, that's the start. They're looking good. The root systems are protected. That sandy soil and the manure has moisture in it, so they're okay. And that's what it looks like over here. So eventually from this mound, see where it goes down and up? That's going to be level. And if you look at the mounds going all the way down, eventually that's just going to be a hump like that. All level going all the way down. Okay, so hey, this is Sam, the Frugal Hugel Gardener. I hope you enjoyed my above ground bamboo planting. This is what you need to do if you have an area where water sets when you get a lot of rain. This will solve the problem because basically you're building above the ground, and once you hump it up like that all the way down, the water is going to go to either side and it won't be on the root system. Remember, bamboo, the root system is within 6 inches below the ground. It's shallow, so it's not going to go down and be flooded, because basically from the ground up is about 6 inches, be a little bit more than 6 inches. They're going to be good to go. So hey, this is Sam the Frugal Hugel Gardener. Give me a like, give me a share. Come on over to my Facebook page, subscribe to my channel, and you'll get to see these grow all the way to maturity, how they became a privacy head, and everything else I got going on around the property. Talk to you soon.